Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. In this video we're going to learn about how to create a vendor which is a part of MBA 800 account payable section. So we go to vendors, obviously tell me option, vendors, click on vendor. So these are the vendors already created for you. So we're going to check the new vendor and go through all the fields so we understand the basics of vendor. What is that for? So we go to new, and these are the different options. So you can create vendor company, B2B business vendor, or EU vendor, or vendor person, cash payment vendor. So this is like a existing templates, you can say that, for company base in Business Central trial version. So we'll just look for this one first and press OK. So basically we're going to go through all the fields available here. So the first one is the vendor number. This specifies the number of the involved entry or records, including the specific number series. So you can click there, and you can also have, if you have anything new or you want to create a new, you can create a new one as well. And you can put vendor series here, and if you expand it, you can see the starting number, starting series number, ending series number, dates, last number used, and default settings as well in this section. So we go back, we'll keep as it is. Let's say we put the name as I use Dynamics vendor. That's the name of the vendor you want to use for obviously purchase purposes. The next option, we got blocked here. So for blocks section, you can specify which transactions with the vendor that cannot be processed. For example, a vendor that is declared insolvent. So if you want to block anything, you want to block a payment, or you want to block all of them, you can block that. Next option shows privacy blocked. So this option will specify whether to limit access to data for the data subject during daily operations. I mean, this is useful, for example, when protecting data from changes while it is under privacy review. Last date modified. That shows, obviously, specifies when the vendor card was last modified. Or if you make any changes, it will show you when was it changed, and it will show you the date. The next option shows as balance LCY. So LCY, obviously, it's the amount that is customer owes you. Basically, this is relevant when the customer is also a vendor. The amount is the result of netting their payable and receivable balance. So if your vendor is your customer, or your customer is your vendor as well, then you put balances there. The next option also shows as balance as customer. So this amount that the customer owes you, obviously it's only relevant when the customer is also vendor. The amount is the resulting of netting payable and receivable. Basically, this balance was it specifies the total value of your completed purchases from the vendor in the current fiscal year. It is calculated from amount including VAT on all completed purchase invoices and credit memos. I gave you different information for this. So basically the vendor and customer was this one, and that's a different balance one. And balance due, you can obviously check the balance due. It specifies the total value of your unpaid purchases from the vendor in the current fiscal year. It is calculated obviously from the amounts including VAT on all open purchase invoices and credit memos. Right, so the next option here is document sending profile. Obviously how you want to send the profile and document, how you want to send the documents to the vendor. If you sent anything and made anything like that, how to send it, you can select from there. from the list, and if you have anything there or you're going to create a new one, you can create a new one how you want to send the documents to the customer. So you can select the options from here, and that will be your document sending profile. So normally this kind of question comes in the exam as well. Right, search name, whatever name you put there, that will show you the search name. Obviously it specifies an alternate name that you can use to search for records in question when you cannot remember the value in the name field. And the next one is IC partner code, that is intercompany code. Obviously it specifies the vendor's IC partner code if the vendor is one of your intercompany partners. Purchaser code is it's kind of specified or specification or specify which purchaser is assigned to this vendor. So you have the different codes as well. You can put different codes if you have any codes there. You can select from there. And responsibility center obviously specifies this one. It specifies the code of the responsibility center, such as distribution hub that is associated with the involved users or company or customer or vendor. And you can also disable search by names. I mean, if you can change the vendor name on open purchase documents. The change applies only to documents, etc. And company size code, obviously it specifies the size of the vendor code. So you can check the company size code here if you got any codes available, or you can select a new list and you can create a new code as well. So I'm just only giving you the basic information about that. If you go to the next section, that's address and contact, basic information. You put the company's address, whatever address it is, and you put second address and where it is. GB probably is for Great Britain. You can put the city as well, or for example if you want to put Birmingham, you can put county, for example West Midlands, and postcode as normal. It can also show you the map as well. This side, phone number as normal, mobile number as normal, email address, and if you got company's homepage. And if you got any account number, obviously this one is to specify your account number with the vendor if you have one, and then you can put primary contact code and contact number as well. The next section is invoicing. So in invoicing, obviously the VAT registration, that shows vendors VAT registration number if they register with VAT. EORI number is kind of economic operators registration and identification number that is used when you exchange information with the customer authorities, obviously due to the trade into or out of the European area, obviously. And price including VAT, you can click OK. Obviously you can change the switch to on or off, so that will specify you if the unit price in line amount fields on document lines should be shown with or without the VAT. So the payment option is the next one. You can put payment method here, application method, which specifies how to apply payments to entries for this vendor. You can do manual, apply to all this as well. Next one is payment term code. You get different kind of codes as well. Obviously you need to know, you need to specify a formula that calculates the payment due date, payment discount date, and payment discount amounts. So you can select 1 month or 2 days or 21 days or 30 days. It varies according to different companies. They have their own obviously criteria how to select these payment term codes. Payment methods obviously is the same thing. Different companies take payments from different type of, obviously they take different type of payments. So you can select bank transfer, or you want to convert it to domestic banks or international banks, or card payments or cash payment, or you got loads and loads of these are here, check or intercom or multiple PayPal payments or WorldPay payments. If you want to add anything else, you can add something else, any other payment method as well, into the Business Central, and you can add it here. So the next one is priority. Priority, obviously, it specifies the importance of vendor when suggesting payments using the suggest vendor payments function. We probably learn this later on as well. Block payment tolerance is it specifies if the vendor allows payment tolerance. Preferred bank account, whichever they prefer for you. Partner, obviously partner type is a kind of thing you can specify if the vendor is a person or a company. Cash flow payment terms code as well, which specifies payment terms that will be used for calculating cash flow. You can put the codes from here as well. Excuse me. So you got different dates, 10 days, 14 days, 15 days, and these kind of questions normally come in the exam as well. So creditor number specifies the number of the vendor that's excluded from payment practice report. You can exclude it. The vendor must be excluded from the calculations in payment practice reports as well. And receiving side, obviously, that's the location code. Is this vendor located east, west, or whichever you distinguish there or you define there. Shipment method code is a kind of code which is the delivery condition of the related shipment, such as free on board, or which is called FOB. Lead time calculation is it specifies the date formula for the amount of time it takes to replenish the items. Then you got base calendar here. So the base calendar specifies a customizable calendar for delivery planning that holds the vendor working days and holidays. You can define a new one as well. We got base here, so we can select that as well if you want to. Customized calendar specifies if you have set up a customized calendar for the vendor over receipt codes, and you can define the over receipt codes as well. Interest rate is a kind of thing where you've defined different things here. Default transaction type, that will be default transaction type for regular purchase receipt, and then this one is for default transaction type for purchase returns, and the last option, default transport method, that will specify the default transport method for the purpose of reporting to interest rate. So these are all these fields which are available on new vendor. Obviously, when you make a new vendor card. Just want to mention very important side of the vendor side, obviously, in regards to the GL accounts and posting. So you need to collect this as click this as a show less or show more. So if you click show more, you will see these posting details. So you can put any of the journal posting group, whichever you selected. You can put wet business posting groups as well, vendor posting groups as well. So I don't need to define more about the business posting groups. Obviously, we have got the videos. If you want to see the videos of posting group, how it works, you can relate to obviously our channel. You can go through the different playlists on channels. The playlist, and obviously our channel. I use Dynamics, and then you can watch about the posting groups as well. So this was all the basic information about vendor card. Obviously, the vendor card it shows there. That will show you the number series you allocate you to the vendor, and that's vendor's account number. The vendor's name. Literally, obviously, that's the basic information. Then you got this request approval if you want approval any documents, and you can go through vendor prices and everything, and you can go through contact, or you want to merge anything. Merge two vendors record into one, you can do that as well. If you get vendor templates as well, you can do that. You want to send email, you can do that, and pay vendor if you want to. You can see we've got any open vendors ledgers entries with invoices that have not been paid yet. You can pay it to them as well. So hope you understand the basics of vendor card, and thanks for watching.